You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on the irlonestar.com.
Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us here at the Weekly Business Hour. I'm Rick Schissler. I'm the host of the Weekly Business Hour, and if you're new to our show, thank you for checking us out. And if you've been a regular listener, of course, thank you for that. We appreciate it. We're a show that's dedicated to small business, to the businesses, small businesses, particularly right here in Montgomery County, Conroe, Willis, Montgomery. These are the areas that we focus on, but we also recognize we have listeners throughout the country and throughout the world, in fact, today. So we talk about small business issues, and today we're going to have a conversation with a local entrepreneur who has had the unique opportunity that some businesses have to move to a new location to try to put his business where there is a lot of potential business from an older location that the area hasn't developed as much. So we're going to hear about that. But before we get started with all that, I want to make sure this question keeps coming up in one form or another. Have you adjusted your marketing plans? Now, some people might laugh and say, well, gosh, the marketing plan I produced in 2020, COVID was all over that. I had to consider it at every twist and turn. And in 2021, yes, things have kind of started to get better, but now we're faced with other challenges and other variants. And I guess my point back to any of us is marketing plans, for those of you who do them, and of course, those of you who don't, I encourage you, even if it's just one page, to put down your plan so you can follow it and check off to see if you're doing the things that you thought needed to be done. But the key right now, it's very important, it's got to be flexible. And when I say that, not necessarily do you build the flexibility in the plan, but you should pull it out of the drawer or the file or up on the computer at least once a month, if not every quarter. Most of us who have marketing plans, we do that anyway. But right now, it's really important to see if you're meeting the goals, the metrics, whatever it is that you've set, so that you don't end up at the end of this year and look back and say, man, I missed some opportunities. Yeah, there were some unique challenges, but I missed the opportunity because I didn't stay with my plan. I didn't change my plan or adjust it when times changed. Don't get caught short. Keep an eye on that marketing plan. And I want to mention to you one thing. If you'd like to be a sponsor of our program, we're always looking for new sponsors here at Lone Star Community Radio and the Weekly Business Hour. If you're a business to sponsor, we'd love to have you. All you need to do is drop me an email at onebestconsult@gmail.com. That's onebestconsult@gmail.com. And I'll send you some information, and hopefully you'll consider supporting the show and being one of our Weekly Business Hour sponsors. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a great interview for you today. Jada England, somebody who's got a great background, 20 plus years in the marketing area. She's now in the publication area particularly, got a lot of experience there, and she's going to talk to us about staying local. She's got a local publication, a lot of great information. So I hope you enjoy the conversation that we had with Jada England and talk a lot about her new firm, BeLocal. So listen now, and I'll catch up with you after the conversation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again. We're on the move. We're moving about the Conroe, Montgomery County area, and we just stopped to have a conversation with Jada England. Jada is a person who has a long, deep background in marketing, has done a lot of neat things in marketing businesses and projects, ideas, done special events for nonprofits and others. So she understands how to promote your business and how to make it work. So I think this conversation is one that most, if not all, our listeners will enjoy and hopefully walk away with an idea or two that they could utilize today. Jada, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
Oh, just trying to stay dry with these pop-up showers, right? Summertime.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
First of all, I need to thank you for taking time to stop and talk to us. Like marketing is so important to a business. Revenue is at the top of the list, and the way to generate revenue is through marketing. And so let's talk about marketing. In a previous conversation, you shared with me you've got 20 plus years of experience in marketing. which qualifies you as an expert or at least someone that knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about your background and some of the things you might have learned along the way.
Oh, yes. I have learned a lot along the way, and I'm only 29, so I don't really know how 20 years is applicable, but I'm just kidding. Yes. So I really started with marketing with nonprofits, as a volunteer, then as an employee, and learned a lot of different things about how to create relationships and how to mobilize people. Because whether it's a nonprofit that you're trying to give, or if it's a service you're trying to sell, whatever it is, you need to be able to motivate people to take action with you and choose you. So that's kind of been from nonprofits to political to corporations, now to owning my own business. It's all kind of been that same theme of how do we get people motivated to do what we need them to do in order to help our business.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head, obviously, take action, right? The hardest thing.
Yep.
Particularly, for example, right now, people are, we've got an epidemic, COVID, whatever you want to call it. We have things going on in the world around us. And it is hard, I would assume harder in many cases, depending on your product, service, your nonprofit, to get people to be motivated to take that action. Just briefly, in a simple way, how do you go about getting people in general to take action? In other words, to get up off the couch, if you will, and move forward.
So it's going to depend on, obviously it's going to depend on the industry or what it is. So if it's a nonprofit, obviously you're going to fuel people's passion. What are they passionate about? Don't try to get everybody to give to you. Find the people who care about housing or seniors. And
have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact secondsaturdaywoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to continue the conversation that we started earlier with Jada England. Jada is a consummate marketing individual, has a lot of marketing experience in different areas with for-profit, nonprofit businesses. Hope you've enjoyed the conversation so far. And at this point, Jada, you've got a lot of things going on right now. We talked about that right before the break, but you have a brand new project that you're working on that to me is a really exciting kind of marketing business opportunity for a lot of people. Talk to us about that and tell us why you went this direction as the next move in your career.
Awesome. So it's a national program that has seen a lot of success around the country that I'm bringing to Lake Conroe. So I'm really excited about it. It's called BeLocal Lake Conroe. And the reason that I wanted to look at this is because the real estate market in this area it's just booming. I mean, it is around the country, but we just have a lot of new homeowners and people moving into this area. And I'm asked by small businesses all the time, how do I connect with these new people? How do I connect with new people when they move in? And then I also hear from new people who have moved here and they say, how do we get connected? Where do we go to church? Who do we, where is the doctor? What restaurants should we go to? What are the events? And so it's a great way to help connect both businesses and new people moving in. What it is, it's kind of a three-part program. So we work with real estate agents who have people who are buying homes on the Lake Conroe area. They will give them this publication that we print that is a directory. It's a glossy magazine style directory with local content, wonderful things that are brought to the area. And then the other part, and I apologize about the noise, the other part is the printed magazine will be mailed to them around a month after they've moved in. Obviously, when people are first moving in, they're changing their address and all of that. So it'll be mailed to them at that point. We also have a website, an app, and then a huge Facebook campaign that will go, Facebook and Instagram, that go towards these new movers. And so all of the businesses that partner with us will be part of that advertising and part of that promotion so that the new homeowners can reach these businesses.
You know, what is exciting to me as a business owner and the possibility of working with you on advertising my business is the whole concept of keeping up with what's going on, particularly if I'm new. But even I know all the time in our house, we're always asking what events are coming up, what's going on in the area, because we like to get out. I think Montgomery County is a big supporter of activities, not just nonprofit, but just different things going on, events. There's so many great things typically without COVID. Lots of great things to do. You can't, you know, your family doesn't need to be bored. There's just great connections. So your local events are going to focus really, your publication is entire Lake Conroe area, or is it expanded on that to Montgomery County, or?
It's going to be, so it's basically zip code focused. So 77356, 77318, and 77316. So it does encompass a little bit more than the lake, but the region that we're covering, it is going to be, the activities and the information is going to be focused on stuff that's around the lake, because, you know, Lake Conroe is up and coming. I mean, in the last 10 years, we've seen so much growth and so much change. And there, you know, there are some corporate things, you know, big business and stuff, but there are a lot of mom and pops and a lot of hidden gems around here that I'm just excited to highlight and feature and make well known.
Well, and again, local focus, BeLocal,
yes.
The title of the publication. Now, talk about your experience. How is that really coming, or are you bringing that to bear on this project? I mean, you mentioned the Bent Water Life, which is local to that community, as a publication about local, what's going on within that community. But what about all that other experience you have? What is it that's prepared you to take this step?
I think that just knowing kind of the basics of marketing and what is important, consistency, being on all platforms, having something that can manage itself, because small business owners don't have the time to be their own marketing team either. So taking all of those things, this program really does that for them. It gives them the presence online, the social presence, and the print presence. And I can manage it all for them in terms of ad content and all of it. And so it's just, it becomes a little marketing campaign for them to a targeted audience. And I'm really excited about it.
Well, and one of the things I like about the idea is it combines the website that you have along with some social media through Instagram, whatnot, and then with a hard print copy as well. So depending on where the individual is in your audience, I have ample access, if you will, easy access to what you're offering. So it is, like you say, it's a kind of a real nice package for marketing.
It is. And because we'll be working with realtors, I'll be doing some events and some, you know, B2B things where the advertisers can meet with the realtors as well as some of the new homeowners. But having that connection that goes back to creating relationships, people want to create relationships with realtors. Realtors want to have a nice marketing piece that makes them look like the expert at Lake Conroe. And so it's just a really good combination.
Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, it's seriously, it's the idea of local and that connection. And like you say, the realtors gives them another tool in their toolbox, so to speak, that they can show they're on top of things and connecting their clients and prospective clients. If I was a realtor, I definitely have copies of it available to hand out. There's no doubt about it. Well, let me ask you now, you are getting ready. Your first publication is going to be when?
Hopefully October. That's the plan. So I've got 30 days to get it all ramped up and ready to go. So I'm excited.
So 30 days, and then you'll be out in October, and then following that, it'll be a month-to-month type publication.
It'll be a month-to-month publication, yes.
Let me ask you this. In your experience, the use of the bundle approach like you're doing versus just say doing something with a website or doing something on social media, how much more effective has your experience been with combining the digital and the print like that?
It is, I mean, it's amazing the benefits that you see from it, and having one person handle it, because a lot of businesses, even when they're small, they have different presence, but they don't communicate together. They don't talk together. They don't see it.
So
sorry about that.
That's all right. Do we have somebody else there that might want to go? Might want to join us?
Do you guys want to say hi real quick? Come say hi. This is Courtney and Jim. They are with Morgan Stanley. They actually work with me. Hi there. This is Rick. It's the weekly business show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's on Lone Star Radio, which is one of the only community radio stations we have.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Rick?
It's the community radio station for Montgomery County. So everything about our community, Weekly Business Hour, has been out there for 8-9 years now coming up. And we talk about business here in Montgomery County every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks for saying hi.
It was good to see you.
Yeah.
For saying hello.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jada.
Okay.
Well, Jada, I appreciate that. And that's, like you say, we're out there looking for people that are in business everywhere we go, because that communication is so important in what we do. If someone is interested in what you're doing as far as potentially being an advertiser or wants to connect and learn more about what you're doing, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Well, if I can say just one thing quick before that is, I love to work with small businesses, and what I am doing may or may not be the right fit, but I am always happy to sit down with a small business owner and look at what they're currently doing, where their business is at, where some of those weaknesses and strengths are, so that we can put a plan together. I do that. That's not something I charge for. It's something that I love doing because I have a lot of background, and it's easy for me to sit with businesses. That's where I just came from. I was meeting with Jim and Courtney doing just that, just looking at their business. And so happy to do that. And together we can decide if, one of these opportunities like BeLocal would be a good fit for them. And to reach me, so my name is Jada England. My phone number is 281-245-8100. That is a cell phone, so you can call or text. And then my email is jada.england@n2pub.com.
Well, let me tell you something. And I'm going to kind of pick up on what you just said. Jim and who's his partner there?
Courtney, I'm sorry.
Jim and Courtney and the work they're doing, please refer them to me. I'd love for them, if they have an interest, and anyone you talk to out there that's in business, owns a business, and is willing to share their experiences. That's who we're looking for. So please keep that in the back of your mind, and maybe an opportunity to enhance what you're doing and bring more things to the table when you visit with people. But most of all, I appreciate you taking time today. I enjoyed visiting with you earlier today at our CEO Roundtable. You've got a great business model. And ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you, if you didn't listen to the entire interview, take the time to listen through it. I think in this conversation, Jada's offered a lot of good, simple, straightforward perspective for marketing. And by the way, I hope you heard, she does free marketing planning with small businesses. So I would reach out to her. I would encourage any business that doesn't have marketing planning which is a lot of business based on my experience over the last 15, almost 20 years of working with people. Reach out to Jada England and connect your marketing and hopefully to BeLocal. Thank you, Jada.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a great experience.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. I hope you'll stay with us. We've got another half hour of some great information and thoughts to share with you. So please stay with us and we'll be right back with you. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Jada. I think she's got a great business idea, a great opportunity with her BeLocal magazine. And if you're in the area, maybe you want to consider advertising with her. I think it is a great opportunity to stay local. Well, in the second half of the show, we've got some exciting things coming up. I'm going to go to the mailbag. I love to do that. I love to hear from our listeners. I've got a couple of them I'd like to cover today that have been sent in with good questions, and I think the answers to them could help a lot of us out there. And then I've got my tip of the week, and this week it's entitled How and Why Every Business Owner Needs to Secure Their Business Data Now. So it's an important issue. Cybercrime is skyrocketing. So I hope you'll stick with us. We'll take our bottom of the hour break and be right back with you.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Second Saturday Divorce Workshop provides unbiased information to help you understand your options and move forward with your life. This divorce workshop is for you if you are contemplating divorce, in the process of divorce, already filed for divorce, or post-divorce. You will explore the emotional, legal, and financial aspects of divorce from professionals who have guided others through divorce. For more information on this divorce workshop, contact secondsaturdaywoodlands.com or call 832-375-0900.
Well, welcome back. I appreciate you listening to our program today. This is the Weekly Business Hour, and I'm Rick Schissler, your host. I'm a Silver Fox advisor as well as the founder of OneBestConsult.com. We have some mailbag items I want to get to real quickly, but I want to mention the fact that Lone Star Community Radio, the station that records and broadcasts live on FM this program, they're moving in a new studio soon. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to support Lone Star Community Radio. It's a nonprofit organization, provides community radio production services to the community, primarily Montgomery County, but it also provides those services in outlying counties as well. So I encourage you, connect with Lone Star Community Radio and consider being a sponsor of the station or one of the programs like the Weekly Business Hour. It's real easy to do. Just go to their website. It's irlonestar.com, irlonestar.com, and you'll see on the homepage information about becoming a contributor, a sponsor of your community radio, and I would deeply appreciate it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview that we had with Jada England. Jada has a lot of experience in marketing. We talked about some general marketing topics that I think would be worthwhile for many of us to go back and look and re-listen perhaps to portions, if not all that conversation. A lot of basic how-tos and things you need to be doing in your marketing. A lot of folks have gotten kind of rusty with their marketing because COVID is, and the pandemic has sort of consumed them. It's been a defensive posture. But let me say, at this point, we all need to go on the offense. We need to take the environment as it is, as I like to call it, the new normal. That's become a phrase out there that's widely used. The new normal. And we need to adjust and we need to go back to doing what we do, and that's grow our businesses. taking into consideration what's going on. And I think Jada provides a very basic platform. She also provides, for those who have businesses in the Montgomery County area, a great opportunity to publish locally, very hyper-local in the Lake Conroe area, a publication I would, again, encourage you to take a look at. BeLocal. Doesn't get any simpler than that. And it's a monthly publication, and I think they're going to have a lot of readers because it has all the events, places to eat, things to do, and this is going to be published monthly for all of us who live in the area who potentially want to go somewhere. We can go right to BeLocal. So re-engage your marketing, take some of the ideas that was offered by Jada in her conversation, and focus your business on the future and start to run it as you used to run it, building, growing, and increasing your revenues. Well, the mailbag. I've got 2 items in the mailbag I'd like to talk about today if we can make the time here. Both of them were, in my opinion, very germane and on-point questions, and I think the answer to these questions potentially could help a lot of the listeners to this program. The first came from Martha. Martha had a question, and I'll just kind of read the question to you. The reduction in the labor pool has really hurt us when it comes to hiring new people, whether as replacements or for a new position. I don't see this situation changing much for at least the next 6 months, maybe a year or longer. Any recommendations on how we should approach this problem other than raising wages, offering hiring bonuses, and etc.? To me, those are nuts and bolts items. Well, Martha, I think there's several things you can do, and probably more than that, but there's several things I would definitely do in any business that's having a problem with labor shortages. In other words, the labor pool has shrunk. The first thing I would do is evaluate my current business and my current business processes that might reduce the labor necessary to perform them, whether it's for products or services, whatever business I'm in. This could be as simple as outsourcing, say, part of a building of a product. It could be as simple as changing some of the parts in your product or the way you perform the service and parts you might use. Take a look around and see if there are any new ideas out there. Many of you, I appreciate, stay up with trends and whatnot. But again, over the last year or two, things have been kind of unsettled for most folks in business. And it's important to kind of stick your head up and take a look. But look for things that would reduce the need for labor on your part, either to assemble or build a product or to service people. If you're a service company, such as electrician, plumber, all the services out there, look for things that are available in the marketplace. And second, I would look for options to innovate or update your processes that might reduce the labor content of your products or your services. This kind of thing is fairly straightforward. Look for the return on investment. In other words, you could purchase a certain kind of equipment, you could have an investment in labor, and this is one I want to take a second to talk about, if you will. You put so much labor in the production of a product or into performing a service, and certain products are going to give you a higher return on that investment. Now, you may have never looked at this, but I encourage you, look at what you're investing labor-wise in each product or each service. And it may not be all of them, but take the top 5 or top 10 or the top 3, whatever you feel comfortable with, depending on the mix in your business of products and services. Because so many times when people have done this in the past for other reasons other than a shortage of labor, they have found products that really they shouldn't be selling. And when you do that, if you eliminate or reduce your investment in these products, you free up labor. And that way you don't need to hire as much labor possibly to do the things that need to be done, the things that make your business more profitable. So consider that. And third, or last but not least, make sure you're training your employees. Make sure you're retraining, training and retraining. Right now, training is critical for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons to train people is they perform better. They can do a job in less time. You get the connection? You reduce the labor invested or required by certain tasks to build a certain product, to assemble a product, to go out and perform a service. If your people know how to do the job more efficiently, more effectively, quicker, then again, you reduce your need for labor. So if you haven't looked at that, that's one to me that should go on day in and day out, should always be there. Look for ways to train your labor to make them more efficient and effective. The best companies do that, even small businesses with a handful of employees, always looking for innovation, for training, and looking for ways to analyze and look at the return on investment in their products. This is critical to every business out there, and I would submit to you that it's critical to your business. The labor shortage that we're experiencing, that Martha's talking about, only makes it more of an issue. It only raises it up where it gets our attention. A lot of effort is being spent, maybe by you, trying to find people with the bonuses and the higher pay and other incentives. And these are first line steps that can be taken. But I contend in many, if not most businesses, there's a lot of labor that's being performed on a day-to-day basis that could be cut out, that could be cut back, that could be made more efficient. And therefore you don't need as much overall labor to do the things you need to do in your business, whether it's building a product or servicing someone. Think about it. Look for ways. There's ways in every business. Take the opportunity to take a look at them. And the second item that I got an email from Mike C. And Mike's was an interesting question I want to share with you, and let me read it to you. Mental health is finally becoming an issue that we're all talking about as a society. I worry about my employees and the mental health of them and their families. Is there anything that I as an employer can do to offer assistance to them if they are challenged by mental health issues? Well, no doubt the pandemic has magnified this problem, and I appreciate it, Mike, that you are one of, I think, just a handful of people that are really considering this. And as a business owner, I think you're in a unique position in order to help these people. First, you need to be mindful that this conversation on mental health is really just a beginning of a broader and broader conversation. There are going to be changes, there are going to be many bends and curves in this conversation that comes. So one, you need to commit yourself to staying educated about the issues, keep yourself up to speed. Two, you need to look at your current health insurance if you offer it. See what it offers as far as mental health benefits. And if it doesn't offer any, or it's just, not much, talk to your agent, see what's available in the market. See what you could offer and what the cost is. And lastly, look at your community resources, the government, nonprofit resources for mental health. Solving this issue or helping your employees may be as simple as making them aware and connecting them with resources that are available right there in your community. Mike, I appreciate that question. I appreciate the email bag. You just don't know how much I enjoy responding to people, and I do respond to each and every email, so I encourage you, keep those emails coming in. We're going to take our final break of the day now. I hope you'll stay with us. We come back, I'm going to do my tip of the week, how and why every business owner needs to secure their business data now. So please stay with us, and we'll be right back with you.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
VEL Institute, a 501c3 nonprofit, began in 2014 with a mission to strengthen the future of veterans through leadership and entrepreneurship training. We've invested over 1,400 hours of training in our veterans while connecting them with community entrepreneurs and leaders. Our mission is to continue investing in our veterans who have given so much for our country. Please join us in our mission by visiting velinstitute.org. That's velinstitute.org.
God's Garage is a 501c3 that repairs and gives away cars for free to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. You can help God's Garage by donating a vehicle, volunteering your time, or by monetary donation. God's Garage is located at 2106 East Davis, Conroe. If you'd like to learn more about God's Garage, visit our website at godsgarage.org. Or you can contact us and we would be glad to come and make a presentation to your group.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Weekly Business Hour. This is our final segment of today's show. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. And primarily, we're going to finish up the show and talk about our One Best Consult Tip of the Week. But before we do that, I want to remind you that, and I said it at the end of the last segment, but I really want to remind you, we love to receive emails here. I'd love to receive questions, comments about the show, questions about your own business. I'll do my best to respond and give you an answer or connect you with a resource. That's what we're here for. That's what the website onebestconsult.com exists for, is to allow the small business community a place where they can go, if you will, on a peer-to-peer basis and talk to people, ask questions, talk about their challenges, and get input, get information that's unvarnished, that comes from people primarily based on experience that those individuals have had. So I encourage you, drop us an email, real simple, the number one, bestconsult@gmail.com. That's bestconsult@gmail.com. Well, the tip of the week. How and why every business owner needs to secure their business data now, exclamation point. Now, you may be tired of hearing about that. I mean, we hear about cyber attacks. Typically, they're on very large, multi-billion-dollar corporations. Sometimes our personal data has been compromised. Most recently, if you're a Verizon customer, your data, your personal data, your social security number, I read, may have been picked up along with 40 million plus others from a major hack. But make no mistake about it, this is happening in small business more and more. Back in 2019, a study showed that 28% of the attacks, the cyber breaches that took place that year, happened to small business. It's happening. I can tell you stories that have been shared by small business owners directly with me of how and when they were attacked. It comes in many different forms. We hear about ransomware because of the payoff, and we hear about even the governments in certain places, school districts, hospital districts, having to write checks, if you will, to pay off and get their system unlocked. And this is serious stuff. I mean, when you stop and think about it, and it really requires a business. You know, so many small businesses think, well, I go down to the local electronics store and I buy a desktop, a laptop. Then eventually, if I grow big enough, I have an IT guy come in and set up a small network, maybe with a server, and maybe put some of it on the cloud, and but we really don't stop. This is part of our business process. I don't really think small businesses in general stop and think about what they've done when they bring that network through the door and connect their business together with the web, the World Wide Web, directly with their customers, vendors, their marketing. This is all necessary and it's all good, but you really, literally, if you will, figuratively, have opened the barn door to your business for anybody to come in. And I think it's a big task, or one that needs to receive a lot more careful consideration going forward. And I've got several points that I'd like to make of steps I think that you should take. First of all, installing security software, check. That should already be done. You should already have some type of security software installed, updated, and working to protect your system. If you haven't done that yet, let me assure you, you're just literally waving a flag and asking for a breach. And the second thing is make sure and verify. So many folks don't verify that you have an online backup that's working. So if something happens locally at your place of business, that offsite there's a backup, at least from yesterday's data and back from there. It may not be up to the minute or up to the hour. Some systems do that. But at least what you lose maybe is a day of data. It's an amazing thing when you get hit with this kind of attack. There's nothing comparable to it, to a disruption in a business short of a fire or natural disaster that completely wipes out your physical business. So really think about this. This is important, real important. And I may overemphasize that point, but I just want people to take this on head on and take some of these simple steps. Train and retrain your employees. How many times have I seen, and perhaps you have, where employees allow somebody through the email system to gain access to your system because they get spoofed, they get this, got all kinds of names, but you get hacked because they open a file, they connect with something that you should have seen physically when they were looking at the computer was a trap, and they didn't. You have to train people. You have to retrain them when they're looking at something, what to look for, the telltale signs, if you will. Sometimes they're not there, and they're going to step into it, and they've done all that they really could reasonably do, still are going to allow a hack. But many times, most of the time, it's really evident right there. Get some training. Call on your local IT company. If you don't have one, whoever hosts your internet and whatnot, they have training. There's all kinds of training out there, but it also requires retraining. And then I think the next step is look at your passwords. Have a process where you update your passwords and have some parameters. In other words, my password doesn't get to be my first and last name. Have some requirements from the people who access your network, your employees and whatnot, that they have to do the passwords. They've got to be 10 digits and capital letters and small letters and characters or whatever it is that you need to do. Make it unique to your business if you'd like. There's also software out there that will assign passwords. There's all kinds of options, but make sure you implement what you want done, what your IT firm perhaps recommends, and then make sure that your employees are really required to stay with it. And then from time to time, you need to change those passwords just for the sake of moving the door, changing the combination on the lock, if you will. You need to be in a situation at least once a year, I think, where people are required to change their passwords for access into your system. And the other thing I would do, and this is a normal maintenance item, and again, if you got an IT person, make sure they're doing it, updating all the operating systems on all the access points, on all the desktops, laptops, tablets, whatever you use to access your computer. Make sure they have the latest and best updates, the operating systems themselves. Make sure that happens. And don't forget your cell phones. They need to be updated as well because they are an access point, most likely. And last but not least, make sure you have some cyber insurance. Now, folks are going to go, whoa, wait a minute, I don't need any more insurance. Cyber insurance is kind of like the backstop. Like I said earlier, for an example, your employees may receive an email, and that email to the eye looks 100% good. There's nothing on it that says, hey, don't open me, red flags. It just is so cleverly done that they're gonna click on it, and then there's a hack, and then something, and you don't even know what's happening. And by the time you figure it out or you're made aware of it, by the time the bank calls and says somebody's hacked your bank account through your own system, then it's too late. They've done some damage. You need insurance for that. You need insurance to be able to step up and help you mitigate that loss. I mean, there's a chance you may get sued by customers if their data is stolen, right? There are all kinds of possibilities because basically you've suffered a theft, and depending on what they steal, it could have a tremendous impact on your business. Potentially, and this happens, you could lose your business over this because it could be so devastating, like that natural disaster, blow that building down, or that fire burns it down, and you can't reopen because you didn't have insurance. So I hope you consider some of the things I've talked about today regarding protecting your system, protecting yourself and your business and your employees from cyber theft. Cybersecurity is a new buzzword, yes, but I think it goes right up there on the shelf with accounts receivable, with marketing, all the important things you do in your business. Cyber theft, cybersecurity. Keep that in mind as you operate your business going forward. Well, I want to thank you for joining us today. Wednesday of this week, if you listen to the live broadcast of this program, we'll have a copy of the videocast and audio podcast available all over social media. You can go to the website of the station at irlonestar.com, click on the Weekly Business Hour tab, and you'll be able to listen, re-listen to the show. And I would encourage you and ask for your help in sharing the show with other people. We enjoy, obviously, having new listeners, new contributors, right? That email and whatnot. So please consider doing that. And if you have a question for anybody who's a guest on the program, let me know. onebestconsult@gmail.com. It's very important that moving forward that we all pay attention in our businesses. That's always important. But today, the times we are involved in, that we live in, that the challenges we meet, they've changed. So it's very, very important, and I say this every week, focus on what's important in your business. If I gave one piece of advice to any business owner, it would be always focus on what's important to your business and your livelihood for you, your employees, your family, and go out there and get it done. See you next week.